So without wasting our time, I'm going to be inviting Marion. She's going to be talking us through how to break the cycle of stress, because how to be stressed? Who is not stressed here?
That's why I'm here.
Who is not stressed?
I left.
Okay, all right. So turning you over to you. Please, let's appreciate that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reset. I'm sure we're all here to reset, isn't it? So without further ado, let's get to it. Right, I will be talking about, I will not really be dwelling on what stress is, because we all experience stress slightly differently. But we will be talking about how we can break that cycle. That's my name, my disclosures, and if I should start by asking, before we go to the next screen, would anyone like to tell me what would be their first description if anyone says, what is stress? I don't want a sentence, I want one word. Overworked. Overwhelming. Depressed. Underpaid. Yes, which can lead to stress, definitely. Because when your economic interest is not matching up with your financial abilities, then there's going to be stress, financial stress. Any other words? Tense. Right, all of these words captures what stress is. So we're going to try today to see what we can do and how we can help each other break the cycle of stress. I have had 1 year in my life where I passed through what I called overwhelming stress. And I have decided to sort of use my experience, because what they say about experience is it's the best teacher. I've decided to use a little bit about my experience. I may not go into all the details of what I went through, obviously. I've gone past that now. And this is me on the other side. But what if it hadn't gone that way? What if I haven't come out on this side of it? So let's go on to the next page. A vicious cycle. So this occurs when stress leads to unhealthy behaviors, such as impulsive shopping. I used to do that. I found when I'm stressed, I rush to the market, I find a few things, oh, I really love this, I really love this. And it gets me a little bit of that happy hormone in my system, and I feel satisfied and a bit happy with what I've purchased. But it doesn't take away the problem, does it? No. And it doesn't actually fix the stress. It's just like when you get high for 5 minutes and it numbs your feeling, but the problem is still there. Taking on too much work. You think you can drown yourself in work. Oh, this problem. I just think if I keep going to work and working, then I would not think about my problems. Then avoiding social situations. That happened with me. As you can see, I'm a people person, like going out and meeting people. But it got to a point where I didn't even want to spend time with my children. I'm a mom of 4. I didn't even want to get out of bed. So then you start realizing that there's something going very much wrong. Driving too fast. Because you're not paying attention on the road. You're just on the highway and you're lost in your thought and you're just speeding down the road. And before you know it, accidents happen and you're like, oh, it was just me. What happened? I didn't sleep. But yeah, your mind was off the road. And when we engage in some social activities like smoking and drinking, it could lead to excessive drinking or smoking, trying to drown yourself in whatever you do that makes you happy. I mean, it could be anything. This list obviously is inexhaustive. Now, recognizing symptoms of stress. You have trouble concentrating. You could be in a meeting and everyone's talking, but you're lost in your own thoughts. You're far away. You'd have headaches. And headaches there could just be like a symptom, a physical symptom from all of the stress you've been passing through. It could be because your blood pressure is beginning to go high. It could be your body telling you something, that your brain is overworked and you just need a little bit of rest. Anxiety, obviously. You may not know what anxiety feels like if you haven't experienced it properly before. But believe me, it's not a good place to be. Anger. Bursts of anger. Because you become someone with a very short fuse. Every little thing would pick you off and you'd be like, I can't handle this. I'm done. Stomach problems. Like, say, for people who have IBS symptoms and all that, it worsens it because of the anxiety, increased adrenaline, increasing your peristalsis. So it's like your body being on a non-stop cycle. Fatigue. Fatigue is not tiredness. Fatigue is being constantly tired and not finding strength or ability to do anything. Not just finding that you do things because you're bound to do them, not because you have the eagerness or the energy in you to do them. So every job or every little chore becomes a drag. You have to like struggle through it. Decreased sex drive. You don't even want your partner. Don't touch me. Stay on the side of the bed. I'm too tired. Am I lying? Nobody is talking. Am I alone in that shoe? Skin irritations, depending on skin types and what irritates our skin. Muscle tension. Has anyone noticed that sometimes you just find you have this tightness in your neck, from your neck to your shoulder? Yeah?
Are you looking in my direction?
Well, because you've done a little bit of stretching exercises for people, I suppose.
She did it for me.
See, so has anyone ever noticed that? I'll tell you guys what. Some time ago, I woke up one morning and I couldn't turn my neck. Like, I'm not exaggerating here. It was bad. I couldn't turn my neck. I couldn't get out of bed. I called the out of hours doctors, and the lady said, "What do you do? How many children do you have? Da 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 da. When last did you work? When are you going back into work?" She said, "Toyin, I think what you need to do today is to just stop." I'm like, "Stop?" She said, "Yes." She said, "Stop. Don't move. Don't get out of bed. Don't do anything. Don't go anywhere. Don't get anybody any food. Just stop." She said, "In fact, you don't even need anyone telling you that. This is your body telling you you need to just stop." And that's what I did. And she recommended some medications. My partner went to pick them up, and it took me a few days. A few physiotherapy sessions, a few scans and all that, because they were beginning to wonder what was going on, but it all got better in the end, and I can do my 180 degrees now. So yeah, it can really cause very bad muscle tension, teeth grinding, and apathy. Apathy, lack of interest in everything. The children are running, they want to break down the house, your mother is sick, your job, it's worse on your job, because you're like, pardon the language, I'll just do my best. I'll just do the little I can do. The passion is not there anymore. It leads to apathy. Complications of continuous stress. Because our flight or fight, that's a typo, response is supposed to be temporary, chronic stress can lead to numerous health and mental health issues, which could include rising your cortisol levels. Because a lot of people in here are healthcare professionals, I do believe that we know that our body secretes cortisol, and these are sort of supposed to be our natural anti-inflammatory hormones. But when there is stress and your body is constantly triggering, saying, I'm stressed, then the adrenal gland continues releasing the cortisol and continues releasing it, and it doesn't then do what it's supposed to do. It sits there in your system, leading to a rise in other enzymes and markers in your body. Before you know it, they start checking your CRP levels, and they say your CRP is high because you've got constant inflammation going on in your body. Your body is trying to fix a problem that's actually not there. It's not an infection. It's a stress, and it's obviously it's not something that's good for us. And interestingly, is that when your CRP is high like that and it's being caused by stress, and antibiotics would not fix it for you. It would not. Heart problems could develop, like hypertension and stroke. Painful conditions like fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia, just continuous pain in various aspects of your body. I'll say a few years ago, rheumatology used to attend to patients with fibromyalgia, rheumatology being my specialty, but currently they don't anymore. And that's because fibromyalgia is just constant, continuous pain in various parts of your body. Constant, continuous pain in various parts of your body, and this cannot be helped with rheumatological medications or interventions. You need the intervention of other specialists and not rheumatology. Could lead to anxiety, and obviously anxiety would lead to depression if it's continuous, because you feel sad about your inability to achieve your day-to-day tasks, or about the person you got upset with yesterday, or about how you responded to that person, or about how you let your friend down by not being able to get out and have time spent with them. Insomnia. Can I describe a situation? Who has experienced this before? You've been working all day, and then you get to bed, and as soon as you lie down, your brain lights up. Your brain lights up, and you start thinking about here, there, heaven and earth. Who has experienced that before? Beautiful. Now, I'll tell you what I was told by a specialist that helped me. But we won't jump the gun, we'll get there. And of course, there is the cycle whereby sleep deprivation worsens your depression and anxiety, and vice versa. Stress impact on teamwork and productivity. So imagine you're a team leader at work, like the nurse in charge for the day, and you get to work. You're supposed to work with on a 24-bedded ward, 3 nurses, and you, the nurse in charge, making 4. And you find one of your 3 nurses have called in sick. So you then have to step in, take on their role and your nurse in charge role. Meaning that day is going to be an overworked day for you, right? And so cases of sickness absence increases over time. Then you start putting out overtime. And let's say one person who's supposed to come on the night shift did not come. Then you start calling someone who's just finished a set of 4 nights. Could you please come and put in 1 more night? And the person, because they don't want to let the team down, they come in. But by the time they're coming back to resume their normal activity, after their shortened days off, what's happened to them? They're stressed. They haven't had enough time to be away and actually recover, right? This leads to increased workload on the available staff, which will inevitably lead to exhaustion, illness, and burnout. Because what affects one member of the team will then ricochet into other members of the team. So that's it. Over time increases, stress levels go up, exhaustion, illness, and burnout. People start calling sick, and then survivors, which means people who are not yet ill, start to cover for sickness absences, which continues that cycle. Does that make sense? Now let's break that cycle. Let's break that cycle. Useful and applicable ways to stop and do what? Reset. Useful and applicable ways that can help you stop and reset. You have to practice self-care. Try relaxation techniques. Breathing exercises are very useful. When you find yourself in a very stressed situation, what do? Do you react the way the situation comes to you? Or do you walk away and go in a bathroom, put water on your face, and look in the mirror and breathe and tell yourself, I can do this. I can do this. Has anyone tried that before?
Can we try?
Should we all try that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Calm down. Think within yourself. And remember, when you say this to yourself, you have to believe what you're saying to yourself. Right? Let's stop for 30 seconds. Breathe in, breathe out, and tell yourself, I can break the cycle.
I can break the circle.
One more time.
I can break the circle.
Well done. So, you can take a shower, soak in a bathtub to reset, go for a walk.
Like somebody did last
That might be very good for you. Some people enjoy walking, and walking may clear your head. Read a book. Whatever you love to do that helps you calm down. Learn to say no. Learn to say no. Your body talks to you. And if your body is saying no, let your mouth and your brain say the same thing. No matter the amount of overtime offered, if your body is saying no, learn to say no. Taking on too much work than you can handle can often lead to stress. Learn to set boundaries. Use some coping strategies by paying attention to your triggers. If you find, oh, this lady is going on at it again, she's beginning to work my brain, walk away from that situation. It could be your partner at home. It could be your children. Yeah, it could be her. Sometimes she does that to me. So sometimes or it could be me doing it to her. But either way, pay attention to your triggers and understand what coping techniques work for you. And use that in dealing with your stress. Build a social support system. It is very important. No single tree makes a forest. We all need each other. All right? Build a support system, a social support system, and not just a support system, not your parents. Your parents may be a support system, but they may not be the social support system you need at that time, right? Because the situation you're passing through may not be one they would understand. Do we get that? Have that one or two people in your life. Could be your spouse who would listen when you talk. They may necessarily not give you an advice, but they could just listen to you speak, and speaking to someone sometimes just helps you to unburden. For example, taking time out with friends, finding someone you can talk to and unburden. Spending time with close family can also be useful, right? Finding a friendly social network. Social media, it's come to stay, it's become a part of us, isn't it? And some people really thrive their best when they are on the social media space. Howbeit, keep in mind, not all friends on social media are real friends. They're just more like people who actually know you without knowing you. They only know what you show them, isn't it? Make some self-limitations for yourself. Oh, I've got this, and that to do today. I really wish I could achieve them all, but I need to rethink. I'm going to make sure I prioritize and do what can be done and save for later what can wait. You're not Superman, in as much as we try to be. Reduce the noise. There are days that I'm driving and a song is playing and the song is walking my head. I say walking my head, not in a positive way. Like, it's just making me a bit uncomfortable. My brain is struggling to process the words coming from that music, and I don't want to do that. What do? I turn off my radio. Why? So I can hear myself think. I do that so I can hear myself think. So my brain can calm down for 5 minutes before I get to my next role and deal with the next thing. Meditation. It works for a lot of people. Pilates, yoga, right? Breathing techniques, sitting in a quiet room, having a nap. Time management, sleep habit, healthy diet. Now, back to sleep habits. Remember I said to you that I was going to talk about what helped me when I found that basically what the therapist said to me at that time was that your brain has associated your bed to your thinking time. Your brain has associated the moment you lie down as the time where you are free to start thinking. So, he said to me, once it's bedtime, don't go to your bed. How big is your house? I said, oh, I've got a really big house. Got this space, this space, this space. Sorry, not trying to show off here. And he said, look for somewhere else in your house. When it's time for bed, and everybody goes to bed, don't go to your bed. Go lie down somewhere else. Spend an hour or two there until your brain actually starts shutting down. And I found when I go lie down on my sofa, within an hour or two, my brain actually started shutting down. Then I get up. Sometimes I have actually drifted off to sleep. Then I get up and go to bed. And off I am to La La Land. And I started doing that and doing that and doing that until I managed to break that cycle. The other thing I did, I tried listening to a few various white noise. Who's heard about white noise before?
Yeah.
I started listening to a few various white noise. What works for you may not work for you. Remember I said I've worked in pediatrics?
Yeah.
A lot of little children under 5. I think because of how much technology has impacted our lives, they've got it wired into them even as soon as they are born. A lot of them want a bit of white noise to go to sleep. So you could find that raindrops work for some. For some children, it's that musical tingling that work for some. For some, it's animal noises. So you need to look for what works for you. If it's fast-tempoed piano, if it's slow-tempoed piano, for me, if there's a single bit of high-pitch tune in the song, my brain wakes up. So I look for one that's got no rhythm. If it's got rhythm as well, my brain plays along. Which is interesting, isn't it? So you have to try a few various ones. Google does a really good one, and it will not cost you anything, and it will play for as long as you want it. For some, they want it to play all night. For some, 2 hours is enough. For me, 1 hour is enough. It sends me to sleep so that my brain doesn't get too used to it. So it sends me to sleep, and then I sleep through the night. Right. So that's the little tip I was going to share about breaking the cycle of your bed and your brain. More strategies include keeping a journal, write out your plans for the day. If you can achieve it, fine. If you cannot, move it to the next day. The next day is not suitable, look for the next best day on your calendar and move it into it. It helps you have a planned day. And at the end of the day, you can say, okay, tick, tick, No, I changed my mind. Oh no, I couldn't achieve that. I'll move it to Tuesday next week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Questioning your thought pattern through mindfulness. When you start finding yourself derailing in deep thoughts over a situation you cannot change, stop yourself and say, why am I thinking so much about this? Can I change it by thinking about it? No. Do I have things I can do about it? Yes. So I'll start working towards those things I can do about it and stop thinking too much. I'll refocus on the task at hand. Does that make sense? That way you don't end up wasting time thinking about something you cannot solve, whereby you're failing to do properly what you could do at the moment. Yeah? Consider therapies like talking therapies and psychotherapies. If you need to talk to someone, then you have to, before it's too late. GPs are often helpful. If you tell your GP, I'm not feeling right, they'll say, what's wrong? I need to talk to someone, I'm not feeling right. They do understand what that means. And they would listen to you and give you an appropriate referral. And usually, the outcome of those therapies are very helpful. There are a few various of them, CBTs and the like. Aromatherapy, hydrotherapy, hot tubs, steam rooms, deep breathing exercises, daily quiet time, ensuring adequate, healthy nutrition. Most importantly, ensure you promptly recognize when your stress levels are rising. Ask about medications that are helpful. Remember, taking antidepressants does not imply you become a mental health patient. Stop the taboo of depression before depression breaks you. You'll be surprised how many people are depressed. They're going through it, but they're not trying to solve it. They're hiding it. They think, if I say it now, then the world will think I've gone crazy. For your information, FYI, low levels of vitamin D can predispose you to develop stress and anxiety symptoms. Ensure you regularly take substantial dose. I didn't particularly put any dose in there, but believe me, 25 micrograms is like a drop of grain of water in the ocean. So 25 micrograms is nothing, all right? And especially consider it more during the months of reduced sunshine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. No, you can. Can I have a mic, please?
Yeah, take that one.
Okay. Now, in case anybody have questions for Tony, please let's appreciate Tony very much. If you have any question, just one or two. That was brilliant.
I am stressed, to be honest. And I think I can make do with some massage, especially this side and my back and all that. Okay. So thank you so much for that brilliant session.
I think it was important that we had that session. We want to be stressed. And I love that breaking the cycle. I think I'm going to practice that more. So we have tea coming on, so don't worry. Just before then, I'm going to invite the second speaker. And I need to say this quickly. Like Tony said, it was very important that we talk about stress because we know that we are stressed, but we are not doing anything about it. We know we are stressed. And I think it was important that we saw the consequences of not doing anything. We are professionals, so we care for everyone, but who cares for us? So we need to look after ourselves, right? And we have other people here that could shine that light. So thank you so much for bringing that to light. So let me
dictionary because it's tell you